I'm Imani.
And I'm Christian.
And this is the Exaaactly podcast. Today we're diving into love because Valentine's Day is coming up. Yes. And whether you're spending it alone, with your girlfriends, or with a loved one, we wanted to get into the root of love and all about love. And who better to tell us about love than the queen herself, Bell Hooks?
Exactly. Okay. The true queen.
Yes. We're going to dive into the book All About Love. We're going to talk about attachment style. We're going to talk about what love is, what it isn't, what it means to be in love, and what you need from a partner if you're going to be in love, and what you need from yourself ultimately in order to maintain healthy relationships and connections that are loving, intentional, and safe.
Yes. This book is so good. When did you read this book for the first time?
The first time I read All About Love was years ago. And this was like on my beginning of like my therapy journey because I really just wanted a better idea of love. Like I had been in therapy for like the past 7 years. I graduated from therapy like at the very beginning of 2024. So I stopped going to therapy in January 2024, but I had been in therapy since like 2018 with my first boyfriend, who is a story that's we'll get into some Valentine's stories today, because I'm definitely going to tell you all that story because, again, it's all about love.
Yes.
So you're going to find out about how we got to where we are today. But yeah, so it was back then. I think I read it when I was in grad school.
Okay.
That was the first time I even heard about it and started kind of diving into it and like realizing like, damn, love ain't just, sprinkles, puppies, rainbows, and kittens. It's a lot to it. And yeah, it's complicated. But
very complicated.
Whoever said love is supposed to be easy, huh?
But that's what I love about this book. I found this book and read this for the first time last year, I believe. I can't remember when last year, but I read this in my book club. And I always am looking to, read books written by Black authors, especially Black women.
Always.
I love Bell Hooks. I love what Bell Hooks stands
She's
for.
A queen. Feminist icon.
Yes, all things, about Black love and culture and sexuality and society and how we've really been programmed, and I think we all have a certain idea of love, but this is what love is really. Like this is like the science of love behind all of the stuff that we think and we say. It's like, no, you can say that, but this is what love has been since the beginning. This is how culture has shaped love and how media has shaped love, and these are the things that we have to keep in mind. When we're wondering, why do I feel like this? Why is my family like this? Why are the men like this and the women like this? And we always ask ourselves these questions, and this brought so much clarity to a lot of the conversations that we, are always talking about.
Definitely. It's the foundation. And I think what All About Love encompasses the best is that, without you having a healthy love connection to yourself, you cannot be a healthy partner to anybody else.
Exactly.
And the love that you experience growing up, the love that you see mirrored around you, the love that you see in your friendships, even in relationships with people on the street, all of that shapes your identity and how you show up in other people's lives and how you show love and how you receive love. And until you heal those initial wounds that may have developed in your childhood, if you were abandoned by your father or something like that.
If you saw stuff.
If you saw certain things in the home, if your mother wasn't as loving and attentive to you as she was supposed to be, all of that is going to shape your perception of love, and all of that is going to shape what it is that you may think that you need from a partner. And until you heal and you're intentional about redefining what healthy love is, and until you really check in with yourself and figure out what a healthy love connection for you really looks like, you're going to have a lot of unfulfilled relationships, and you're going to have a lot of connections that may show up as what you seem to believe is love, but not actually be true, genuine love. Like Bell describes.
And one thing I love about, how Belle talks about things in the book is that it's very black and white. Like she mentions so many things that cannot exist at the same time as love.
Correct.
And I think love is the biggest thing where people try to make it seem like two things can exist at the same time. There's a specific passage where she talks about how abuse cannot exist with love at the same space. And she talks about how she grew up, feeling otherwise. And it's so important because so many people say, well, I didn't realize, like example for me, my father passed when I was 14, and I had a really, 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 really close relationship with him. And when I went back to school, I had missed a lot of school. I was fucked up after my dad died. And so many classmates were like, oh, were you guys close?
Obviously.
A lot of people ask me that though. Like people were like, oh, well, your mom's still here. Like so many people, were just, I guess, used to not being close to their, parents. I'm from, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so most fathers aren't active in the home. Most of them aren't. Their parents are divorced or they were never together. So, when you grow up feeling like, oh, this is love, this is what family means, this is what trust means, this is what it means when someone loves me, you might think that that's the same thing for everybody.
And it's not.
And then you get into the world with your idea of love, and then you're gagged and disrespected and turned into a people pleaser, or, people are manipulating you or whatever, because, you haven't been you've learned from broken people.
Yeah.
And that's something else that Belle talks about too, like our parents learned broken love.
Yes.
So we have been taught a broken system, and it's up to us to educate ourselves so we can, find the way back to what love is really about.
Exactly. It's all systematic, and it all goes into the societal conditioning. And as we know, again, Belle, feminist icon, we talked about how society socializes men and women differently about love, and it kind of sets us up for failure.
It does.
Because men are taught not to show emotion, not to be vulnerable, not to be soft. And women are told to be over soft and over communicative and over nurturing. And it kind of puts us naturally at odds.
In the book, it talks about how men are also taught, like most boys are doted on by their mothers. Doted on by their mothers. Yes. So boys are used to that type of unconditional love
and
from
they
women.
Expect a mother in
so
their
they
partner.
Expect a mother's love from their partners, whereas girls are nurturers from jump. You're nurturing your baby dolls. You're nurturing your younger siblings, the babies that you might be babysitting. You see your mom take care of you, and yada yada yada. So you're naturally being led to nurture, and most men are naturally being led to just take and take and take and take.
Exactly.
So when they become big grown ups, which people need to remember, they're raising not just little boys and little girls, but grown men and women.
Yes.
When they become grown people, they're spoiled, they're entitled, they want things to be a certain way, and when you don't give it to them a certain way, they're going to off you, or they're going to stalk you, or they're going to put you in an uncomfortable position. And we see today more than ever how entitled men feel to a woman's time, to a woman's energy, and how this is why women are taking a stand. This is why women are saying, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to get married. I'm not going to stay with you. I'm not going to let you cheat on me. We've had no choice but to, because the scales have tipped so much in the opposite direction
that women are trying to course correct. And
we have to.
And we want to talk about these things on this podcast, and that's why these conversations are so important, because we want to break societal norms, and not everybody is going to buck the system in the same way. How I choose to live my life, how Christian chooses to live her life, and how you choose to live your life are going to be different, or they could align and be the same. But the underlying thing that we want women to know is, no matter what path you decide, if you want to go the more traditional route, if you want to stay home, or if you want to be a mother, if you want to get married, you are welcome to do that. That is, if that's in line with the idea of how you want to live your life, that's free for you to do. But at the same time, we want women not to sacrifice yourselves in order to do that. We want you to choose partners that choose you. We want you to choose partners that uplift you, make your life easier, make your life softer, invest in you, invest in your children, are able to provide a healthy family for you, for your kids. If that's what you want, are able to protect you. That's what we want women to choose. And I feel like a lot of times society, we're conditioned just to choose just for the sake of choosing, and not choosing wisely. And that's probably like the main thing that I want to get into the minds of the women who listen to this podcast, that even if you're not like me, like I'm somebody who doesn't want children or marriage, but I still have a lot of respect for people that are married, and then respect for people that do want to have children, but do it in a way that is healthy for you and that family that you're building. Do it in a way that is safe. And there's a lot of women who just do it because they're told to do it, and they're not thinking about the safety and the future of their children and the family that they're building. And I think it's really important that even if it means you wait a little bit longer to have that, you take the time and you wait, and you choose a partner that's healthy and that is safe. That is ultimately the most important thing. And,
it is.
And we don't want women out here rushing just to do stuff because of all of this societal pressure. There's no age limit on this. You can meet the love of your life at 40 and have a baby at 41 and be happy and be put up in a big house.
I mean, you don't know what God is going to give for you. And I think that we all have love that we're supposed to have in our life. Beautiful, 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 deep love. And, I have great, amazing friends. And I also am married. I have a husband. And I can definitely say love is love.
Yeah.
Like
literally.
The love that I get from my husband, the romantic, intimate love that I get from him isn't more powerful or more valuable than the love that I get from my best friends who would also lay down their lives for me and go to jail for me and do whatever anytime I need. So I literally, like love is love. And I think that we have to remember that we've been conditioned to feel like we can only get love in one way.
Yes.
And this is why we throw away a lot of our friendships and we excuse in romantic relationships. And it's also why, we feel like, well, this is what marriage is supposed to be. So I'm just going to say yes. Or, oh, this is my partner. We've been together for X amount of years. I want a ring. So I'm going to do this. Or, well, we're going to have a baby. So it means that we need to do this. I want people to make marriage and relationships and love their own.
Yes.
Because what people are talking about that works doesn't work.
For everybody.
Take it from somebody that's married where it works.
Yeah.
What y'all doing don't work. It doesn't work.
Facts.
It doesn't work. Like the stuff that people see online, all of that, oh, I'm counting what you giving and I'm counting what you, and you gonna do whatever you want for the first half of our marriage, and then when the kids grown, I'll do whatever I want. No.
It's a partnership.
It's a partnership, 100% from day one. And none of my friends are even in relationships. I don't have any friends that are married because, I feel like so many wives subscribe to the belief of, my life has changed completely. Yeah. It's easy to, just step into this role because you have the pressures of everybody around you. You have the pressures from your friends, from, your family, maybe from your partner's family. People are telling you, oh, well, when you guys get in the house, when are you guys doing this? When are you guys doing this? When are you guys doing this? When are you doing this? Oh, you're getting married? When are you doing this? Even if you've been in a relationship for so long, when are y'all getting married? Are y'all getting married? So I want women to know that you can have the relationship you want.
Yes,
because I do. Okay. And I live my best life. My husband lives his best life. We both have our own lives and we both get to be partners in life as we live our own lives. And I had so many friends that I'm not friends with anymore, clock it, that told me, oh girl, that's not gonna happen. How are you gonna find somebody that's not gonna happen?
And clock that too, because that's another thing, y'all. Societal conditioning, these social norms, it's not real. Like
it's
all
not
of this
real.
stuff
it's
is
not
just
based
stuff
off a real relationship.
If you want a relationship where you and your husband live in two separate houses, guess what? You can do that. It's not against the law.
You can have a beautiful marriage, no kids.
It's not against the law.
You can literally have whatever kind of partnership or relationship or marriage you want. Yeah. And you have to remind yourself, like, I can do what I want. Literally. Like, we forget that we have free will. Literally. Like, you don't have to be with this person and, be in this box. You can literally say, you know what, I don't think so. And I think that's what people need to do, because if you say no, you should be saying no to whatever isn't in alignment with what you want. Because the only person that you should be saying yes to is a person that is in alignment with what you want, checks off every box. It ain't no compromising with that. Exactly. Now, once you're in the space, that's different. Yeah. But on the person themselves, we don't want to compromise on our values and what we want for the long term. Exactly. Like the stuff you should have to compromise on in a marriage is like what vacation spot y'all going to. Hello? If y'all are going to do nudes, or a pop of color. It shouldn't be, compromising
your freaking morals.
Yeah, your morals, what you want for yourself, your family, like you just have to find a partner that wants what you want and not worry about time or worry about getting older or worried about, well, this person wants me, so let me just say yes to the first person that wants me. No. Yeah. You have to choose who is choosing you. And be picky. Be very picky. Very, very picky.
I just made a TikTok about this the other day. I'm the pickiest bitch alive.
Be selective.
And on the flip side of that coin, y'all, you don't have to get married if you don't want to. If you want to, find a partner that is in alignment with you. And again, be picky. Pick the perfect one. You're allowed to do that. And if you don't want to do it, you literally don't. It's not against the law.
I really think the best thing is to just do whatever you want, live your life. And if God blesses you to find great people, do life with them.
Do life with those people.
With them. That's it.
Exactly.
It might happen, it might not, but if it does happen, do life with them.
Exactly. And there's going to be a million people. You can have friends. You can build community. There's other ways. Like,
it's not just one.
It's not just one way to live life. There's a million ways to find community, love, support, security. It's all around you.
And we all need that. Partners that don't want you having any other friends. And this is something else that Bell Hooks talks about in the book, like how in her relationships, her partners would villainize her friends. Yeah. And like she talked about
tactic, manipulation.
She would talk about how you know, how isolating it can be in love sometimes, you know, and how isolating it can be when people try to separate you from this to control you or, you know, different things like that. And we have to recognize that that's not normal.
No, and it's not healthy.
And it's not healthy. And also, you're not enough for anybody either.
No, so you can't be somebody's everything.
We need to deal with our ego because I can't just have you. I need you because of what you bring to me, but I also may need some other people. I may need some women in my life. You may need some men in your life. Not no man, you do. You know, like I don't really think that, you know, I think that we're here. I think we have a lot of soulmates. It's not just about one romantic partner. You have so many soulmates and brothers and sisters and family that you need to be doing life with. And we can't put all of our eggs into the romance basket and feel like we don't have value because we don't have what we want in the other space.
Exactly.
Like I'm a psychic, honey. And I've worked with people, you know, who have been in great relationships but didn't have a ring, so they didn't feel like they had a great relationship. You know, so it's like, no matter what you have, we have to stop thinking that the societal norms define what we have and make it so. And make it feel like it's not valuable unless we have this. You know, like you can have whatever you want, you know, and you have to give it that value instead of looking for that outside validation from the world to say, okay, this is what love looks like.
If I can tell you guys anything from this book and just in life in general, do not seek the outside validation.
You can't.
It is not going to, it's actually worthless. It doesn't do anything for you.
It really just, for women, I think it's one of the most dangerous things.
It's so dangerous.
It keeps us in abusive situations, abusive marriages.
Male validation.
It keeps us with these, you know, men that abuse 100%. Us when we need to leave. It keeps us with these families trying to keep the family together.
These BS families, child.
Like, no, you know, like, people have been saying forever that kids need more than anything happy parents. And we know that's true.
It's very true.
You know, and that's always going to be true. And we know so many people that stayed in spaces just for the sake of the family not breaking up, or just for this or just for that. And we have to recognize how important, like, the whole point of love is to be happy. That's the main point. It's happiness. It's happiness. So there's no point of putting all this effort into love and sacrificing everything
if you're not happy.
If
you're not happy. 100%. 100%. All right, ladies. I like that. If you haven't already read it, let's hold the book up.
Get into it.
If you haven't read All About Love by Bell Hooks, please read the book. And now we're going to get into some Valentine's Day tea.
We're going to talk about some Valentine's fails. If you guys want more book recommendations, go on our Instagram. If you haven't, you should have already been doing that. But go on our Instagram at the Exaaactly Pod. We have a book recommendations highlight where we have the link to where you can get this book. And we're going to be adding some other books on there as well. So if you guys have books that you guys want us to, you know, talk about or look into,
let us know. We got girls that like to read.
Knowledge is power, and the girls need resources.
Especially now, y'all. We're in Trump's America. It's going to be illegal for women to read.
We need to read, seriously. We're gonna be getting our pinkies cut off for reading. If y'all saw The Handmaid's Tale, we need to be reading. Literally, we need to read.
All right, so let's dive into these Valentine's Day pills. Now, I am somebody, and I was telling Christian, I love Reddit. I am a Reddit bitch. I read Reddit stories. I can't wait to read Reddit stories.
I love about the assholes. I love the Reddit tea.
So we're gonna get into some Valentine's Day Reddit fails, but first, I wanted to tell my Valentine's horror story.
Please do.
And I want to hear one of your Valentine's Day horror stories. So this year, I have a beautiful solo date planned for myself. I booked a nice reservation at this new restaurant downtown called NBA. I might book me a little hotel. Like, I'm just gonna love myself this Valentine's Day and make it the most romantic night ever. But let me tell you about a night that wasn't so romantic.
I'm serious. No, it wasn't so romantic.
It was a terrible night. Okay, I can't say the man's real name, so I'm gonna name him.
Give him a name.
I'm gonna name him Puff.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the Puff on the end of this pen. So me and Puff were living together for several years. We were together for years. And this particular Valentine's Day, we had just moved out. Like, actually moved out at the beginning of the end, y'all. Because how you go from living together to not living together? And then, like, the distance was, like, creating, like, the emotional distance was there. Like, I could tell that he just hated my guts, frankly. But this was young, desperate, obsessed, sad Amani. And this was 7 years ago. So this is at the very beginning of my therapy journey. Surprise, I went to therapy for the first time because of this relationship. Because I needed, that was like the first time I was like, I'm like, bitch, I need help.
Relationships are really sending you
like, I'm like, seriously. I need help. Like, I am not well. So for this Valentine's Day, we planned to go to this restaurant called Stir. And now we've been to Stir before. Cute little restaurant, whatever. I had got this really cute dress. It was this red dress. And I just looked bomb as hell. And in this story, I'm going to show you little indicators that could show, you count how many times you realize this man hated me throughout the story.
No,
because
seriously?
he showed his hatred for me at least 5 times throughout the story.
Oh,
probably
God.
10. So I get to his house or whatever for our reservation. I'm all dialed up. Mind you, we're going on a date.
Yeah.
There's like, it's not like SDK, but it's still a nice
But it's still
restaurant.
nice,
like,
yeah.
it's not like a bummy restaurant by any means.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing my dress. I show up to his house. He comes outside. Y'all know what this nigga is wearing? Some dingy, dirty ass sweats and a fucking hoodie.
He wore sweats and a hoodie to the date. Did he keep that on?
Bitch, yes.
Oh my God.
So he wore these dingy, dirty
That would have started the anxiety for me.
So that was step one, because it's like, you didn't even compliment me.
Look at the effort.
Beautiful or nothing, and you come out
Look
here
at the
in freaking sweats and a hoodie, bitch. But this is me. Like, this is when I was in my people pleaser era. Now
Yeah.
I fear I've gone too far to the other side of the pendulum.
Hello.
I don't please a motherfucker.
No, you in the right place.
Hello.
You in the right place.
Thank you. But I was very much so a people pleaser at this time, so I just
Yeah.
kind of let it rock. So we get to the restaurant, and we're sitting across from each other.
The fact that they're chuckling to
So we're sitting here. I'm trying to have a conversation with him, and he used to just give me like the just. Like he wanted me to know that he could not be there.
Gosh.
And
Why do you have somebody just to bully them all day and be mean?
And on the way to the restaurant, he was complaining about, Valentine's Day. I hate Valentine's Day. I don't even know what we're doing this.
Oh,
I hate Valentine's Day. I hate Valentine's Day. Why do we do this? I hate that. And it's like, well, bitch, if you hated it, you should have fucking stayed at home.
Seriously.
Don't come here and just tell me how much you hated it the whole time, and then sit here and glare at me from across the table.
What a diva.
Rude ass bitch.
What a diva.
So we're on the date. Him and his homeboys decide to get on a fucking 3-way call, and he sits here and just talks on the phone in front of me, and then they just bitch back and forth about Valentine's Day on the phone while I'm on this date with this man.
Yikes.
On Valentine's Day. Mind you, this is my boyfriend for like 5 years at this point.
That's horrific.
So he's
That's
just
a
sitting here
Stephen King
in my
novel.
face.
That's a Stephen King
On
novel.
3-way with his homeboys talking about, they're just yapping away about how much they hate Valentine's Day.
In
Having to do stuff
sweatpants.
for their women on Valentine's Day in sweatpants. When you're across from a bad bitch.
And he's complained all night.
Yeah.
You should have went and been with them.
Hello?
Go be with the boys.
I'm like, since y'all wanted to have Valentine's Day, y'all should have bought each other some fucking
Go be with the
flowers.
boys.
And sat here and I didn't say that.
Finger popping each other's
I
ass.
was going to say, fucking pop your booties together and have a fucking twerk contest. So that's what y'all wanted to do. So, anywho, that happens. The date is ending, and instead of calling an Uber back to his home, he decides he wants to walk down to the corner store. Y'all, mind y'all, it is raining. It's raining hard. Do you think he gave a fuck? No. So I'm up here walking down the streets of Deep Ellum. He has his hoodie on.
This
He's
is
walking
terrible.
10 feet ahead of me.
This is so
Power
sad.
walking. I'm walking down the street getting wet as a dog in my little heels and my little
This
red dress.
is terrible. This is a fever dream.
This happened.
terrible.
This happened. In my little red dress, end up getting soaked, looking like a wet ass rat.
Oh my gosh.
So he can go to the little corner store, and then we get in the Uber. We go home. I try to end the night and have a happy, fun, sexy time night, and he tells me that he's abstinent, which is some shit that he made up.
Make it up randomly.
He made that.
Girl, let me go to bed. Let me go to bed so you can go and meet your boys.
He made that up. So after all of that, mind you, I had bought some special lingerie. So now I'm embarrassed because I go into the bathroom. I put on this special lingerie that I bought. I come out thinking I'm all sexy. And he's like, I'm abstinent. Mind you, we're in a 5-year relationship, babe. When did you become abstinent? But okay.
Girl. Okay.
So yeah, that's how my night ended. That was my Valentine's Day fail.
That's horrific.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that date?
I mean, I would rate it a 0 from, him opening the door with the sweats, should have left.
Yeah.
Him bitching on the way there, should have left. You on the phone with somebody, I should have left. We go back and say you're abstinent, I should have left.
Walking in the rain.
Even walking in the rain, like that's just
all
terrible.
All of these points. I say all that to say, yeah, there's a lot of pressure to have like the perfect Valentine's Day. You want your partner to show you love and be intentional and, make you feel special that day. But if you know you got a partner that's not going to do that, don't even bother. Start leaving these niggas. That's what I want y'all to do.
And I've been in a lot of relationships like that too, where you feel like it's on you to make this person happy and to make a day special. I've had so many. Like I dated one person who was so mentally ill. Anytime we would go to a restaurant, they would bitch so bad with the servers. I would feel so embarrassed. Like, you know, and you just try to make them happy. Like, oh my God, what can we do? What can we do? It's okay. Let me see. It's just like literally having a toddler. Yeah. Like having an angry child that is always mad and never okay. I guess my Valentine's Day fell. I was working at Twin Peaks and I had to work on Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
And if you've ever been a Twin Peaks girl or a Hooters girl, then you know, well, Twin Peaks, you know, they make us wear lingerie for Valentine's week. Okay. It's like a lingerie week, so all the freaks come to the restaurant. We make a lot of money, you know, and of course, a lot of girls want to take off because they want to have that day and that night with their man. I was working Valentine's Day and I had celebrated with my boyfriend before, and then literally one of the girls, who is Portia, I literally still remember her because she's such a baddie. She is such a baddie. Like, I literally felt like she kind of took me under her little Twin Peaks wing when I started working there, because she was so fab. But she was on social media and she was like, "Isn't this your boyfriend?" My boyfriend was with another girl that was his girlfriend. He was in another relationship.
A whole nother girl.
And I found out at work on Valentine's Day.
Hell no.
He was on Instagram. They had took pictures together and had tagged her on Instagram.
Shut the fuck up.
And they were in a full-blown relationship. They had a baby together as well. Like, after we broke up, because I broke up with him 2 months after this. She was pregnant at the time.
Shut up.
Yeah. Also, I was 19. He was 25.
Oh, girl.
Another red flag. Another red flag. Right? Another red flag. He's a freak.
Shout out to
the
Wikipedia podcast.
So literally, while I was at work, I remember literally going in the bathroom and just like going off on him, just like reading him down to the ground and just being like, "Girl, this is a joke. This is a joke." You know. And he was like, "Oh, this is my friend. This is just my friend." You know, playing it off like it's his friend. But this guy was like, he acted like he was a sex addict, but he wasn't a fucking sex addict. No. Like, I would be like, "I literally live with you. Why are you leaving the house
to go
see somebody else?" And he'll be like, "I just like the attention." Like, he was really an attention whore. Now, mind you, I'm gonna be 30 this year. My best friend just told me the other day that he just had a new baby with a 19-year-old.
Girl, he needs to go to jail.
So if I'm about to be 30 and he's 6 years older than me, then he has to be 36.
Hello?
And you still talking to 19-year-olds?
Jail.
You should be in jail.
Jail, hell.
You should be in jail. You should be in hell.
Prison.
You should be in jail, and after that, you go to hell.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, you're going to be in prison.
Yes, that's the order.
So he was like just a notorious womanizer.
Ew.
He was a notorious womanizer. He was gross. But I was only with him for like 3 or 4 months because it was always another girl.
Yeah.
It was always some mess. And, you know, in my defense, I just dropped out of college. I was trying to get my stuff together. So I was like, I need a place to stay while I'm getting it together. Me and my mama beefing. I dropped out of school. She don't like that. I got to get my mind right. But he was like just, you know, playing the game. Playing a game. And that's what a lot of these guys do that like to play games.
They do.
They'll deal with a bunch of young women. But you know what's so crazy? The girl that he was with, the girlfriend, she was older than him.
Interesting.
She was even older than him.
How old?
And knew she was in her 30s. I think she maybe was like 31 or 32. And knew he was talking to me. Like, it was crazy. It was a mess. I was like, these old ass people.
Okay,
I need to be involved with these old people.
Yeah.
It was
doing all
nuts.
this hoopla.
It was crazy.
Craziness. Okay, I'm going to rate him a -5.
That's a -5.
On the scale of 1 to 10.
Anytime you have to find out some bullshit about your man at work,
it's embarrassing.
It's always so embarrassing.
And they don't, and you know, one thing about a lot of these men, they do not care about embarrassing you.
They don't realize how embarrassing it is for somebody that don't even know you to be like, this your man?
Not only do they not realize it,
like what?
Care.
Oh, I don't care.
How embarrassing.
They don't care. Because you put it on Instagram.
Exactly.
You put it on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
They want to shame you.
Ugh.
They want to shame you.
Boo. So those are Valentine's fails.
Big boo.
Please leave in the comments what happened to you on Valentine's Day. Hopefully y'all have some better stories than us. But
No, seriously.
Read your horror stories just because they're fun. Let's get into some of these Reddit stories, shall we?
Yes, let's do some Reddit.
All right, we're doing some blind reactions. So I have not read these. I've literally just found them because they're Valentine's Day themed. So I'm going to get your feedback right in the moment, and then we're going to discuss. There's 2 stories we're going to leave you guys with before we peace out for the day. But yeah, leave in the comments how y'all feel about it.
Okay.
All right, so this is the title. It's Am I the Asshole for Not Getting My Wife Anything for Valentine's Day?
Okay.
Just based on the title alone, what do you think?
Yes.
I think yes.
Am I the asshole for not getting
your
my
wife?
anything?
Your wife? Your wife? Your wife? Your wife? Your wife?
I literally don't care if your anniversary is February 13th. Her birthday is February 12th. I don't care if you propose to her February 11th. Mm-hmm. I don't care what's going on.
Why? It's your whole life.
That's just your job. It just is what it is. You just have to make a big deal out of it. Too bad, so sad.
Too bad, so sad. Let's dive into it. Okay. This is what the guy says, and it's Reddit deemed them assholes. So it tells you the vote if you're not a Redditor. That Reddit did deem them asshole.
Period.
Okay. He says, I am in trouble this week, and I'm not sure that I deserve to be. I, 35 female, did not get anything from my wife, 36 female.
Okay, so these are ladies.
These are ladies for Valentine's Day this year. Hear me out. I told her in August that since I was going to be unemployed and going to law school full time for the next 3 years, I wouldn't be getting her or anyone else presents for the next 3 years. Okay.
So no Christmas, no birthday, no nothing.
That sounds crazy. Okay. I mentioned it to her multiple times. She was then kind of mad at me for not getting her anything for Christmas despite this. Because you could have got her a card, but I digress. But she got over it rather quickly. Monday morning, I texted her Happy Valentine's Day. She leaves to work before I get up. Mm-hmm. I did not get her any presents because I don't have any money. She got me a bag of jelly beans for Valentine's Day. I didn't get her anything, but I thanked her anyway. She was very, very mad I didn't get her a gift for Valentine's Day. She said I could have gotten her a small gift or even a homemade one. Yeah. I told her it didn't even cross my mind as I didn't have the money for gifts, but I will do that in the future. I then made her a homemade card, but she said that that didn't count because she had to ask. She also knows that I do not like Valentine's Day. Anybody that goes out of their way to tell you that they don't like Valentine's Day is literally cruel because there's no reason for you to tell me that.
But wait, look at the rest of the sentence though.
Okay, where she said she knows I did not like Valentine's Day as it reminds me of my school that was shut up in 2008. Okay.
Exactly, bitch.
You see that? But still. My bad.
And you know what? Arguably, if your school got shot up for Valentine's Day, that's cool. We don't have to celebrate on Valentine's Day, but we're going to celebrate this love.
Somehow.
We're going to celebrate this love. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. I get that. It's traumatic. But we're going to celebrate, and I'm not going to remind you to celebrate.
Exactly. I have always had a cold. I have also had a cold all week, and I haven't been feeling well. She's still mad at me on Tuesday and reiterated the same points.
Our co-host.
This is Salem.
Our co-host.
It's now Tuesday, and she says she wants to forgive me, but she's still upset that I didn't get her something. And then she thinks that it means that I don't care. I don't feel like I should have to apologize, as I told her I wouldn't have the money to get anyone gifts months ago. So am I the asshole? So she asked, I thought this was a guy. I was ready to drag a man. Unfortunately, I'll have to drag a lesbian today.
I don't mind dragging the lesbians, though. The lesbians need to be dragged.
I love my girls.
I mean, yes, but girl, I mean, the lesbians is the same thing.
Touché.
It's really not nothing different.
Coming from a former lesbian.
Yes, from a former lesbian in my past life, you know what I'm saying? I'm the bi woman with the heteronormative relationship, that nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations. Yeah. But, I mean, I feel like, the same nuances happen, in all relationships. And I think that, like you said, there's a lot of people that don't like Valentine's Day.
I think it's a cop out.
You need to find somebody that don't like Valentine's Day too.
Hello?
That's what I think. Like, don't try to make somebody, don't try to yuck somebody's yum because you don't like Valentine's Day, got bad memories for you. It's fucking Valentine's Day. That's like having okay, Christmas. We've all lost people.
Yes.
Everybody is sad on Christmas.
Right.
But nobody is like, I love Christmas. Because I don't know. Like, people, you have to try to do something. Exactly. Like, you can't just sit and be miserable and think about the terrible things that happen and just traumatize yourself over and over again.
100%.
But that's what a lot of people like to do.
Yeah.
If they're feeling fucked up, they're like, okay, you need to feel fucked up with me. I think that was really her problem. I think she just didn't want the wife to bring it up. She didn't want her to, she just wanted her to breeze past it, especially. And also, too, I really don't care what you told me. Just because you told me something don't mean that's what it is. That doesn't mean it's law.
And that's unreasonable. This is something else. People think that just because you communicate, that means everything is okay. Yeah. Sometimes you can be unreasonable.
You can just communicate something that makes no sense.
And I'm still going to feel some type of way.
I'm going to veto that communication.
Exactly.
Just because you say it don't mean that that's what we're going to do.
Exactly.
You can't say, oh, well, I told you I was...
She said the name of the movie.
That's a bit of you on Family Guy.
Literally. They said the name of the show. But no, literally, because you said that, first of all, 3 years is unreasonable. You're telling me you're not going to give me anything because you're in school? Bitch, I went to school.
But that's what people will do, though. People are crazy. And people will do that to you. People will be like, you know what? We're saving up to buy a house.
I'm not going to do that for the rest of the... No. That's not reasonable.
I guarantee you're doing something that you like.
Yeah. Hello?
You're doing something that you enjoy.
You couldn't have scrounged up again. How are you feeding yourself? How are you keeping a roof over your head?
Yeah.
You got money just because you're in school. Sometimes you're still surviving.
I've done so much broke Valentine's Day
Hello?
stuff as somebody broke.
Girl, you can make
going to the Dollar
candy.
Tree, buying streamers, balloons.
$10.
Even if you make a meal, you gotta eat anyway.
Exactly.
Make a meal, light some candles.
You could have got you some $10 Trader Joe flowers, cooked your wife a meal. And that could have been Valentine's Day. Listen, any partner
that says I can't be there for you because of money, when it's about something like this, that's a cop out. Hello? You don't need money to make a day special.
No, you do not.
And if I really like you, you know that.
And
so
I'm
if you
make
feel like I'm like, people always say, oh, like the thing about the dates and how much money. If somebody actually likes you, and you can provide an experience for somebody where the money doesn't matter. Because let me tell you something. The women that want a $200 date have been on a $200 date. And a $200 date is nothing. So, if you want a certain type of experience, if you're able to feel like you're on a $1,000 date for free with somebody because of the energy that they give you, that matters. Yes. If somebody's like, oh, I don't have the money, so I can't take you out. I don't have the money, so I can't buy you nothing.
You shouldn't be dating, bitch. If you don't have the money
and
you can't put nothing together, then you shouldn't be dating.
With that broke mindset.
Get away.
Not only are you broke, you're broke in spirits.
Yeah.
Because even if you're broke financially, you can still make it shake. And people that are broke financially will still make it shake for you if they want to.
Especially your spouse. This isn't some stranger. This isn't some stranger that you didn't know. This is your
wife. You're gonna ice out your wife for 3 years with no gifts.
That's stupid.
Girl, please.
Let's read some of these comments. Okay, that's crazy.
No,
this person says OP is definitely the asshole. If you're not a Redditor, OP means original poster.
Yes.
Making a card, writing a letter, exactly what we were saying. Going through old photos to find the most meaningful picture of them too, and putting it in a frame you already have. There are all type of entirely free ways to make a token of your affection for the person that you love. Not making a sincere gesture on the day that she finds very important is a huge asshole move.
Period. You can literally even take sticky notes and put sticky notes all over the bathroom window.
Something you
for her to wake up and see. It's not difficult to be a good, person to a woman.
Exactly.
People just hate women.
They do.
Even the gays, clearly. Can't even find solidarity with the gays.
With the girls.
I really think that a lot of people in relationships, men and women, a lot of people can just be selfish and they're like, this is what I want, so get with it. I don't like Valentine's Day, get with it.
And
I'm not spending no money for 3 years, get with it. Like, no.
That's just freaking
get with it. Absolutely.
Not spending money for 3 years is not realistic or reasonable.
We can compromise for 3 years.
But we're not going to be
But we're not going to just, that's not happening.
Yeah. All right, ladies, we have one more Reddit story and then we're going to wrap it up. This one is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my husband he is insensitive for not wanting to get me a Valentine's Day gift?
Okay, let's get into it.
Similar ideas.
I don't know why people have such an aversion to
Valentine's Day. Oh my God, it's like, it's literally not hard. I plan my own Valentine's
Day
this year. It took 5 seconds.
Too.
Yeah, I don't freaking get it.
Like, why are y'all bickering about not wanting to buy somebody a gift?
It's always the people in relationships that want to cause havoc for Valentine's Day. It's like, all year that you in a relationship and then Valentine's Day is coming up. Nonsense. Okay. Background. My husband secretly met y'all, this is some tea. Oh, this is some tea. I wasn't ready. Mind you, I haven't read this either. Okay. My husband secretly met another woman 2 times a year for 4 years and complained about me to her while pretending to me that everything is fine. There was no romance, but he shared a lot with her that he didn't share with me. There was no romance, my ass, that he shared with me. And she encouraged him to lie to me. I gave him another chance, and we're supposed to be reconciling now. Y'all remember, rewind back, put your brains back to our canon event episode. This is one of them. She should have left.
He's twice a year for 4 years with the same bitch.
She should have left. But she said she decided to reconcile.
Okay. And that's the first paragraph. Let's keep going.
Background 2. My husband is Japanese and I'm American. Every year we rotate between American and Japanese style Valentine's Day. Okay. With Japanese style, the woman gives the man chocolates, which he reciprocates with on White Day a month later. Okay. My husband is often passive and I'm often labeled as controlling. Recently, I told him that I will no longer make requests of him, like household work, planning dates, etc., and allow him to make his own choices.
I feel like that's the first you're going downhill.
Yeah.
Because when a woman is like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're not taking my advice, I'm going to stop saying it.
Exactly.
That's when
you might
you're going to find somebody else. Seriously. Because when you start to give up and you don't even want to suggest anymore,
it's time to leave.
It's time to wrap it up.
Usually I bring up Valentine's Day a few weeks in advance and we discuss how we'll do it that year. We often can't remember what we did last year, so we have to discuss it. This year, to let him make his own decisions, I bought him chocolate and I let him deal with whatever he wants to do on his own. 3 days before Valentine's Day, he asked me which way we were doing it this year. I say it's up to him. He seems to remember doing American style last year, so he wants to do Japanese style this year. I say that's okay. The next day, I remember we actually did Japanese style this year, and I tell him so. He asks me what I would like to do then. I say it's up to him. He chooses Japanese style. When I say why, he says there's no particular reason and that he didn't think much about it.
Okay. It seems like the Japanese style was little to no effort.
Yeah, which way he wants to do.
Yeah.
I get upset because it seems like he made the decision that was easiest to him, but rather than considering what I would like. As I am American and we did Japanese style last year, I would have liked to receive something. Yeah. He says I shouldn't get upset because he would have done it American style if I told him I wanted that.
But since you let him decide, it's like, oh, well, you
and
said
so
that.
When you decide it's fuck me.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. However, I think he should have come to that conclusion on his own. At first, I tried
to. If you have to feel this way about your partner, date somebody else.
Please,
baby, there's somebody that is going to come to the conclusion that you want them to come to.
They are married, child.
Get a divorce.
At first, I tried not to say anything since I didn't want to control his choice. However, he could tell I was upset, so he asked me what was wrong. When I told him, he argued with me about it. Then we got into a big fight where he basically said he is insensitive and said that I am overly sensitive. Am I the asshole? Edit for clarification. For me, it's not just about Valentine's Day. It's about the lack of effort, especially after an emotional affair. It makes sense.
That's why you leave after the affair, though.
Exactly.
Because forgiveness means... Unfortunately, when you forgive somebody for something, you have to get it out of your head.
Yeah.
You cannot have it in the back of your head like, well, he needs to be putting effort because I forgave him. Exactly. Like, girl, you should have left then.
And you don't have to forgive.
Because nothing that they'll do is going to equate that. Like, if you really were able to forgive, I think we like to say, oh, I can forgive anything. You can't forgive if you can't move forward without waiting for the scales to be back in balance.
Exactly.
You kind of have to, forgiveness is what puts the scales back in balance and you move forward with a clean slate. If somebody has done something where you can't do that, then you can't forgive them. And it's okay to not be able to forgive somebody, but you have to know when you can't forgive somebody. Because then you'll be asking if you the asshole when he been cheating 8 times in 4 years. Trying to space it out so we don't fall badly in love with this person. He needs to go be with her and you need to find somebody else.
And some things are unforgivable, y'all. Ladies, stop trying to force
yourself
to forgive people.
And you
gotta stay with these people. Exactly.
Even if somebody else will stay, if you want to leave off rip first time, you can leave.
Okay, and this is my hot take. That's unforgivable. I don't give a fuck. If you've been having affairs over the span of years, you was talking bad about me, your wife. What did she say?
And this girl is giving you advice about me?
For 4 years, you complained about me to her while pretending to me that everything is fine.
And no romance for me.
He shared a lot with her that he did not share with me, and she encouraged him to lie to me. That is completely unforgivable.
They've been together for longer than 4 years, obviously.
That's completely unforgivable.
You know, I do a lot of love readings, and I always tell people when you're asking yourself if you should stay, never think about the time. Because if you think about the time, the time will keep you
It's
there.
called the sunken cost
fallacy. The time don't matter. The time does not matter what you spend with somebody. Throw away 20 fucking years. So you can meet whoever you're supposed to meet tomorrow. Because you really just hold yourself up from real love. Because this person, if she has friends that's telling her to leave, she gonna eventually cut them off.
Exactly.
Like people like this in your life that's not supposed to be in your life, they'll mess up other relationships. You know, like if people are supposed to be in synergy with you, you can't have your main relationship being out of whack and think you're still gonna have that same synergy in your relationship.
Exactly. And there's levels to betrayal. This isn't some I taught
that's
him
the most
like
betrayal.
This
is the equivalent of having a baby with somebody.
Betraying that honor and trust in your marriage and talking about interpersonal stuff
to
your partner
else,
to somebody
to a
else.
Mistress, have a baby. Have a baby.
You might as well.
Leave me. Start your life with her. That's what you've done.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it easy for you.
Betrayed me at this point.
I'm not gonna try to stay and talk about Japanese
and talk about Valentine's Day. Yeah, fuck all that. This post should be, am I the asshole for staying with my husband after he cheated on me and was talking shit about me to his mistress? That's what that should be. No shade to this girl. She, in the final update, sorry to this man. She did give an update. She says, thanks everybody. The consensus was I am the asshole for giving him a choice that wasn't actually a choice, but the deeper issue is the emotional affair and the fact that I hadn't forgiven him for it. He checked out of a relationship when he did what he did. And now I am checked out of it too. We are both forcing ourselves to stay in an intolerable situation. I've written him a long text basically saying we can try counseling if he wants. But I think it's probably best to just end it. Let's see what he says.
I think it's best to end it too, because this is the thing. When you're going to be with somebody forever, a lot of people can't manage forgiveness.
Yeah, especially for stuff like that.
And
that's
for things
not
like
something
this,
normal.
But, you know, it's different. Different strokes for different folks. Some people have open relationships or, you know, some people... Now, this is really fucked up because she thought everything was okay.
Hello?
A lot of times in affairs, there's some people where they might have an affair going on, you do too. But situations like this, where somebody is literally leaving you out in the cold, starting another life damn near with somebody else, but spreading it out so they, like, this is a calculated individual.
Very calculated.
I wouldn't want nothing to even do with this person.
Yeah, that's
like,
nasty.
especially when now you go nickel and dime me every Valentine's Day, girl, bye. I'm not about to go back and forth, but we could just leave. Like, leaving should not be taboo. Leaving is like the best thing that you can do sometimes. Be happy to leave. You know, don't feel like leaving is giving up. You need to set them free so they can be whatever they need to be.
Clearly, you want to be with somebody else.
In a mental institution with somebody else, whatever it may be. And you need to be able to do the same thing for you as well. Like, you need to be with somebody where you don't have to make yourself forgive something that you can't. Some women don't care about cheating. If you don't care about that, then that's who you need to be with. But if cheating is a deal breaker for you, you shouldn't be with somebody that makes you feel like you have to accept that.
And even the women who don't care about cheating, it's usually they had a one night stand, a drunken thing at the club.
They think something like this. They think every man cheats. Some women that don't care about cheating is because they think that all men cheat.
This is beyond cheating to me, though. This is like full blown betrayal.
He could have had a baby.
Like, that's so crazy.
He could have had a baby.
He might as well have. He really might as well have.
Whew. Oh, God.
All right.
That stressed me out.
We done got into some things this episode, y'all. This was a really good episode. Truly all about love. We talked about bell hooks. We talked about our Valentine's fails. And we digged into some of these Reddit stories and had some really good conversations, especially on the last one. So thank you guys for sticking with us through this episode. We love you so much. We'll be back soon. And as always, trust yourself because you know exactly what you need.
Period.
Toodles.